The rain was falling hard that evening. Crowds rushed past the sidewalk, clutching umbrellas, eager to get home. But among the rushing footsteps, one figure didn't move. A young girl sitting against a brick wall, her clothes worn, her hands trembling as she held a cardboard sign. "Hungry, but anything helps." Her name was Lily. Once a college student with big dreams, she had lost her parents unexpectedly, and life spiraled out of control. Now, she sat on the street corner, invisible to most of the world. But not to Daniel Carter. Daniel was a millionaire CEO, known for his sharp suits, fast cars, and unshakable confidence. That night, however, he had stopped at the red light across the street, and his eyes had locked on Lily. Unlike others who walked by, Daniel didn't just see a homeless girl. He saw something in her posture, her eyes, something unbroken. He crossed the street, ignoring the rain soaking his $1,000 coat. "Hungry?" he asked, kneeling slightly so their eyes met. Lily hesitated. Most people who approached her were either cruel or pitying. But Daniel's voice was different. Calm. Genuine. She nodded softly. "Haven't eaten since yesterday." And then, without a word, Daniel did something shocking. He reached into his wallet and pulled out a sleek black credit card. A card with no limits, a card reserved only for the ultra-rich. He placed it in her hand. "Take this," he said. "Get yourself something to eat." Lily froze. A stranger, handing her something worth more than she could ever imagine? Her heart raced. She could run, she could spend thousands, disappear into the night. But instead, she whispered, "Are you serious? I could ruin you with this." Daniel smiled faintly. "I want to see what you'll do." Lily clutched the card tightly, her mind spinning. She stood, almost shaking, and walked into the nearest diner. Daniel followed silently, watching from the door. Inside, the waitress eyed her skeptically. "You gonna order something?" Lily swallowed her pride and said, "Just a sandwich. And a coffee, please." The waitress raised an eyebrow as Lily pulled out the black card. Her hands trembled as she placed it on the counter, expecting laughter, maybe even the police. Instead, the waitress gasped quietly, glanced at Daniel through the window, and swiped it. Approved instantly. Lily sat down and took a small bite of the sandwich, tears rolling down her face. Not from the taste, but from the feeling of being human again. But then something happened. Across the diner, Lily saw an old man shivering, his clothes just as tattered as hers. He stared at the menu he couldn't afford. Her hands gripped the black card. She hesitated. Then, she stood and walked over. "Sir, can I buy you dinner?" The old man's eyes widened. "You? Buy me?" She nodded, smiling softly. "Someone gave me this. And I can't eat knowing you're hungry too." Moments later, the old man was eating a hot meal, tears in his eyes, whispering prayers of gratitude. Lily didn't stop there. She asked the waitress quietly, "Could I pay for everyone here tonight? Just keep it simple. Nothing fancy." The waitress blinked stunned. "Everyone?" Lily nodded. "Yes. Everyone deserves a warm meal." Daniel watched from the doorway, his chest tightening. He hadn't expected this. He thought maybe she'd run, maybe buy herself clothes, maybe disappear. But instead, she chose kindness. With nothing of her own, she chose to give. When Lily finally stepped outside, clutching the half-eaten sandwich in a paper bag, Daniel approached. "You had a black card in your hand," he said, voice low with awe. "Unlimited money. And you spent it on strangers." Lily looked down. "I don't know how to be selfish anymore. If I have enough to survive, and someone else is hungry, I can't ignore that. I've been invisible too long to treat others the same way." For a long moment, Daniel was silent. Then, with a steady voice, he said words that would change her life. "Come with me. I don't just want to feed you tonight, I want to offer you a job, a home, a chance to rebuild." Lily gasped, covering her mouth. "A job? Why?" "Because," Daniel said, his eyes glistening, "people like you are rare. You have nothing, and yet you give. My company needs people with hearts like yours more than it needs any degree. Months later, Lily walked into the same diner again. But this time, not in ragged clothes. She wore a neat blazer, her hair clean and shining, a small smile on her lips. She wasn't homeless anymore, she was Daniel's assistant, learning business, rebuilding her life. The waitress recognized her instantly. You're the girl with the black card. Lily smiled warmly. Not anymore. Now I just have my own. And tonight, dinner's on me again. The diner erupted in cheers. And so, a Millionaire CEO's test became a turning point, not just for Lily, but for everyone who witnessed it. Because sometimes kindness isn't about how much you have, it's about what you choose to do with it.